On this episode of Watch Stuff With Us, Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, episode 1. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Watch Stuff With Us. I'm JD.
I'm Katie.
And we are back. We're committed to doing this go around. We had a bunch of subscribers before, still kept them, but we just stopped doing shows, and we apologize for that.
We did. We had a little year hiatus there.
But we are back, like Jordan with the 23, not the 45. But anyway, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button right below. Support us, please, so we can continue to keep doing this for more than 1 year this time. So with all that being said, let's get into the show. This is going to be the top 5 WTF moments from Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story, episode 1. So, the first WTF moment was pretty much how the dad was crazy abusive and probably just crazy from what we saw in the first episode.
Yeah, to be able to have those kind of emotions shown in public spaces and not care that you are.
That's wild. Like, he was at his tennis match and like he went full onto the court and like lost it in front of the coach.
That's next level, to be able to be like verbally abusive.
And to have somebody who's willing to do that in public, you can only imagine how he was treating them behind the scenes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, in their own house, I'm sure it was far worse than
we got a little glimpse of it, but
a little bit. And we'll talk more about that later.
More.
Yeah, definitely more. Our second WTF moment from this episode was the revelation that Lyle had hair plugs. I was not expecting his mom to do what she did during that argument, but she pretty much just ripped it off.
I was shocked. I knew that he had this luxurious thick hair before, but I did not know it was artificial, and I did not know that, it had to be hooked in there to stay in there, so she had to like rip that out. And
right, and he's a handsome dude. Like, I was never expecting that to go down.
That poor guy. I mean, that definitely took a hit to his self-esteem there and his pride when she just did that.
And like, his brother didn't even know.
No.
Like, nobody knew about it. His girlfriend didn't know, he said.
No.
And like, when she ripped it off and like, you just saw his head drop. Like, I felt that sadness.
The whole head just...
I felt that sadness as a fellow bald guy. But see, like, I grow a little bit of hair, but like, the baldness is... So since I can grow a little bit of hair, I consider my baldness a choice. I was not forced into this lifestyle. I chose this lifestyle. And I don't know what lifestyle he chose, but...
I don't know if it was just hereditary at a young age for him to have lost his hair, but clearly his family had forced him into having to have a toupee. Do you even call it a toupee? That was like a long... like a full...
Yeah. And I mean, but they
full lawnmower, like, track, like...
They have an image that they obviously have to uphold.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think...
Him walking around...
Yeah, I don't know if he could have pulled that off.
I don't think he rocks the bald look. Yeah, no, not at that young age either.
No, that was a little rough. But you know what's not rough? Well, actually, it is kind of rough. Our third... Oh, that was 2. Our third WTF moment from this episode. So, I don't know if y'all got this vibe, but I definitely got this vibe. And I kind of looked at Katie while I was watching the show, and there seems to be a little bit more than normal brotherly love going on between them.
Oh, and it's just extra lovey-dovey.
Yeah, I don't know if... Like, I was young when this happened. Yeah, and I was about 8. So I kind of remember certain aspects of the story, but I don't remember them talking about them having like kind of a semi more than brothers
unhealthy family relationship.
Yes,
and the sibling.
An unhealthy family dynamic.
Oh, all around, yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit much. It was nothing, at least in this episode, that was like overt, but like when
you get those uncomfy vibes.
Yeah, like he was at one point, Lyle was in the shower and
Walked on out.
Yeah, just walked on out, and
fine.
Erik was sitting on the toilet. Like I'm pretty sure Erik was clothed though, but he was just like sitting on the toilet, and here he comes on strolling on out. With no clothes on. I wouldn't do that around a relative. Um, there was the scene at the end where Lyle was sort of comforting Erik after everything that went down in the episode, with the therapist, and kind of caressing him, like,
yeah,
like, I mean, what you would do, it's like what I would expect her to do to me if she was trying to comfort me, right?
It's
like,
okay, love.
Yeah, like, I mean,
yeah, no,
as brothers, that was a little something.
Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, I caught vibes like from the very beginning and how much they love each other and use the word love. Like, yeah, it's normal to like say that you love your siblings, say you love your family, but I've never said it with like that much underlying emotion and depth to it. Like,
and there was that scene where I think it was Erik who was trying to convey to the therapist maybe that that he loved his brother, but like I felt like he wanted to say he was in love with his brother.
Yeah, I definitely feel like he had a little halt in his words as he was trying to deliver that. So
there's definitely something there. I wonder if they're gonna continue with that sort of thread as the show continues.
They're so unstable.
Yeah, very. For the fourth WTF moment.
May the fourth be with you.
Yes. In this episode was the actual showing of the killing of their parents.
Correct.
I was not expecting it to be so brutal. Like, they showed everything. And like at one point you could see Lyle shoot his dad in the back of the head and like just his head explode pretty much. I wasn't expecting that. And I know that I'm assuming that the show is going off of the details from the autopsy and from the crime scene. So they kind of put it together as best they could. But that was graphic. And even for like Netflix standards, that was pretty graphic in my opinion.
Yeah, and I feel like it was very raw and emotionally driven because there's no reason to have done that many shots to a person. I mean, you only need 1 or 2 per person, and there were definitely like 5, 6, 7 per person, and they weren't in spots that somebody would easily die from.
Erik even left the house and you could still hear Lyle shooting in the house.
Yeah.
Like, that was, I mean, if you were gonna, like you said, if there was a mafia, it would just took him out.
Right.
It would have been boom, boom, 2 shots, 1 to the chest, 1 to the head, gun. Done, over with.
And they left the mom, she was just still awake for most of it. I mean, still alive towards the end. And
yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. But I got a bonus one for you guys. So this one isn't in our top 5. This is just a bonus one, and it'll be quick. But what was up with all the Milli Vanilli? Like, even the title of the episode is a Milli Vanilli song, Blame It on the Rain. Yeah. And like the through line throughout the show was Milli Vanilli songs. And yeah, playing the super awkward
everybody
song
at the funeral was like,
right.
And like, halfway through they're like, okay, we'll just vibe with this. But in the beginning they're like, this song?
Right. So yeah.
Interesting choice. And he's just singing along to it during the funeral. Like,
that was
baby.
That was weird. Like, it was what did they call it when you secondhand embarrassment. That's what it is. Yes. Like, I'm sitting there watching like, ew, like that was kind of cringe.
Yeah. It really was.
And that one wasn't on our list, but that was just something that I just thought of right now. And little do you know, this is the second time that we had to record this because I jacked up the first time. But you got some bonus content because of that. So maybe I messed up on purpose. No, I didn't. All right, our 5th and final WTF moment from this episode is just the entire end of the episode with the therapist confession.
Poor guy.
I know. I could not imagine being in a scenario like that where somebody's confessing something as
deep and dark and serious as that, and you feel concerned for your own well-being.
Right. And I mean, eventually we had Lyle show up with with his hand in his pocket, and like, I'm sure the therapist thought it was a gun. Like, I would have thought it was a gun. I honestly did, sitting there watching it, and I'm like, shoot, going through my head, like trying to remember the actual events. Like, did the therapist die too? But it turned out to just be a Snickers bar. So, a king size Snickers bar, right?
He is hangry.
Yeah, real hangry. Real hangry.
Chewed over the Snickers.
So, I know that, like a lot of times lawyers have client privilege where they can talk to them about, your client can pretty much talk to you about anything.
Client-patient confidentiality, yes.
They can pretty much talk to you about anything. Does that work with like therapists too?
It should. I don't know if times have changed perhaps. I do know that when I was in therapy, the first appointment I would go to, they would make sure to let me know that if you say anything about harming yourself, if you say anything about wanting to harm yourself, if you say anything about having harmed somebody else or planning to harm somebody else, they can report that. And
then you end the episode with them saying that, well, now we got to go kill him.
Right.
So, yeah, I definitely don't think that he handled that situation as best as he could. But if you're in a situation like that, or thrown into a situation like that, I kind of get there's not like an actual written playbook to handle things like that. So
no, but I would still definitely be trying to get away, or low-key dialing 911 somehow. Like, he went all the way out there to the payphone and dialed 911, not the other 12 digits that you did.
Yeah, that was definitely out there.
Yeah.
You know what else is out there?
What?
Us. We are on YouTube again. I'm good with the transitions
that was
today.
Really good.
I'm good with the transitions.
Nice one, babe.
We are back. We took a little bit of a break, but we are back. We're going hardcore. We're doing this show. We are doing Agatha All Alone. So be sure to check those out. Those episode recaps out. You can go back and look at our past videos, and please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, support us. We promise we will be around this time, and we will not dip out for another year. We promise. So just keep checking us out. Come back. We'll have content multiple times a week, but we just appreciate you for watching this.
We do. Thank you.
I'm JD.
I'm Katie. Peace.